I'm gonna shoot you in your head if you come up with anything other than that.
All right, real slow. Now get the line. Slow down. Slow down. Somebody shut off that siren. Left hand, real slow across your body. Undo your seatbelt.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Southern Draw Law. My name is James White, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor, former police officer. The short clip that we just watched is a segment of raw body cam footage taken from the Woodridge Police Department, which, by the way, just came out on January 17th, even though this incident happened January of 2024. I gave you a little teaser in the opening of the video, but let's go ahead and watch the body cam. It comes to us from the good folks over at Fox 32 News in Chicago, and we're going to take a look and see how this unfolded so you guys can get the whole picture. And then we're going to talk about it along the way as we normally do. Let's check it out.
Put the window down! 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 Put both of your hands out the window right now! Put both of your hands out the window!
I got commands.
Go ahead.
You, with an outside hand, reach out, open the door. Watch your crossfire. Okay, real slow, left hand, do it from the inside. You come out with a gun, we are going to end you. Do you understand? There you go. There you go. Come on out. I gotta put the car in park. Put it in park. Put it in park. Real slow. Everything real slow.
I'm gonna shoot you in your head if you come up with anything other than that.
All right, real slow. Now get the line. Slow down. Slow down. Somebody shut off that siren. Left hand, real slow across your body. Undo your seatbelt.
Obviously, this is not your run-of-the-mill, hey, my name is Officer so-and-so from the Woodridge Police Department. The reason I stopped you is, no, they're all pointing guns at this guy and ordering him out of the car. And typically, this is the kind of thing you would do when there's a high-risk felony. What we just heard, though, is these officers. We've had two separate officers who said, if you come out of there with a gun, we're going to end you. That's what one guy said. On the left-hand side, you see this officer who says, I'm going to shoot you in the head if you come out of there with anything other than whatever it was he was telling him to bring out. Now, I want you to understand something. This guy's not involved in whatever they thought they were looking for in any way whatsoever. He's a random citizen who lives in this place who is coming home from Costco, okay? So just put yourself in that guy's shoes for just a second, okay? Let's get back to it and watch some more.
That's you. You look at me, nobody else. You do what I say, you'll be okay. Real slow, come out of that car. You guys got cover?
Got cover.
Face away from me. Face away from me. Face that car. Walk back to me, real slow. Real slow. Real slow. Now move. Hands behind your back right now.
Holy crap, man. I don't have any weapons. I just came from Costco, dude. You guys gotta be down, my man. We're gonna explain everything in a minute, but we're gonna do it safe. You want to put him in my car?
Yes, please.
Can you bring him to one of our interview rooms? I got you.
Can you follow him? Gentlemen?
Not a word with him. Don't explain what's going on. Don't ask him no questions. Good? Got you. Got it. Charlie Nora, 482.
I want you to look closely at the notepad in this officer's hand, okay? I've paused it. I'm going to zoom in so you can see. But the officer is checking the tag against the notes that he took in the original investigation. So it either says CN7, and there's an 8 scratched out, and it says 374 or 394. I can't tell with this penmanship what it is. But notice that it says Tiguan. That's the model of vehicle they're looking for. And it looks to me like it says the name Marcus, maybe Marcus Franklin, but again, you've got Tiguan, which is a model of Volkswagen SUV, and then you have the license plate Charlie November 7 374 or 394, and it might be Charlie November 7 8 374 394. So This officer is realizing right now that they've got the wrong car. Let's look at the plate here. They released later that they were looking for a black Volkswagen Tiguan. What they've stopped is a gray Volkswagen Atlas, and the license plate doesn't match. So the license plate that you can see here out of Illinois is Charlie November 49263. So you do have Charlie and you got a November, but literally nothing else matches. In fact, the only thing it turns out that matched was that the person driving this gray Volkswagen SUV that is not the same model is a black male. Other than that, there's no other part of the description of the person they're looking for that matches. So let's see how they handle the rest of this.
Hey, Tom, I hope this is the right car. That's not the right car. This is the wrong car. Yeah, 794663. Yeah, this is the wrong car.
We're all good.
This is the wrong car.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
CN.
But the plate don't match. The last 4 or 5 are wrong. It's the wrong plate.
So first of all, I have to say that this driver, Mr. House, handled this situation absolutely perfectly. It's probably the only reason that he survived, to be honest with you, because these guys were itching to shoot. You can tell that some of these guys are patrol, those are the guys in the marked units, and then there's other guys in unmarked units. These guys are probably like part of a street crime unit or a violent crime or drug task force, something like that. They're not wearing like normal patrol uniforms. But this guy was perfect. He did, after he was cuffed, say he was coming from Costco and this is ridiculous, but he didn't do anything up to that point that would have jeopardized his safety. He fully complied. He didn't give him any mouth. He didn't escalate. He was absolutely perfect. And if you're ever in a situation like that, I recommend you do the exact same thing, because whatever it is that's on your heart that you need to say, in my opinion, and again, I can't tell you what risks to take, but I don't think it's worth risking the potential that you could die over these words that you're going to say. You can say them later. You can say them after the situation is de-escalated. But he was perfect. One thing I want to notice, though, is they immediately when they got him handcuffed, they went into his pockets. Now, if he was actually the perpetrator and they had probable cause to arrest him, that would be okay, because it's an exception to the warrant requirement called SELA, or search incident to a lawful arrest. If they don't have probable cause, and I don't think they had probable cause even if he was the right guy, where they have reasonable articulable suspicion that you've been involved in a shooting, and they're doing a proper Terry stop, that would lead to the reasonable belief that you would be armed and dangerous. So the felony traffic stop, all of that would be okay under the Terry standard, and then there would be a pat down for weapons that would be okay under the Terry standard. But going directly into the pockets in the absence of a warrant or probable cause to make an arrest is actually a violation of the Fourth Amendment. That's a search. You don't have an authorization to search in the absence of probable cause or a warrant to make an arrest. All you can do is pat down the outer clothing for weapons. So even if he was the right guy, they probably would have violated the Fourth Amendment in the absence of those things. But he's not the right guy, so this is definitely a violation of the Fourth Amendment for 100 different reasons, right? The pocket thing, just icing on the cake, because he's the wrong guy. They've gotten him out of the car, they've detained him, they've seized him, and he's not the right person, and they've searched his pockets. So they violated the Fourth in just about every way they possibly could. So I wanted to comment on what the officer said when he put him in the car. Not a word with him. Don't explain to him what's going on. Don't ask him any questions. I realize that most of my audience probably thinks that that is just, well, one, half of you guys probably think that that's a violation. It's not. Two, you probably think that that's intentional just to be malicious or whatever. It's actually designed to protect the interview. If this officer is talking to him along the way and he's detained, he's in custody. So let's say the officer is just having casual conversation and the guy says, "What are y'all doing?" And he said, "Well, you're the guy that was down A, B, C, or D." The court, in a motion to suppress, might say, no, you weren't asking him questions, but you were saying things to him that you knew would elicit incriminating responses. And so because of that, any statement that he made wouldn't be admissible in court. And so this detective is saying, don't talk to him, because essentially you're going to screw up my investigation and you're going to screw up my interrogation, and then whatever he said in the car won't be admissible. Again, I'm not defending what these guys did. It's atrocious, it's bad investigation, it's horrible policing, it's a violation of the rights. I'm just trying to explain what their underlying intent probably was as far as getting him in an interview room. But anyway, we're never going to get there because they're getting ready to release him. But watch this and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about what's going on here.
Take him out. Wrong car. Take him out. Wrong car.
Hop on, man. Place the car.
Take you out of handcuffs. Get you going. Okay, I'm going to give you some information on who I am. We'll talk about what's going on. Okay, but I want to take care of these handcuffs first. Oswego PD had a shooting. Car plates. The car is the same as yours. Plates match with. Wait, hold on.
No.
Hold on.
No.
Look at me.
No.
Plates match. 2 of them are off. All right. That's why you're placed in handcuffs. We thought you were the guy.
No.
All right. You're not. I understand that. All right. Hey, listen. Look at me. I f*** this up.
Okay.
Understand that? I'm gonna give you my card. This is on me.
Absolutely.
Absolutely on me. Let's clear these roads out.
Y'all threatening to shoot me in the head and shit. Don't move. Put your hands up. Like,
You're right.
This is ridiculous.
Okay. Well, listen.
This is ridiculous. I've been out here for 15 years and never have I once in my life. My man, nothing,
But
dude.
you have to look at it.
My man, nothing, dude. That shit.
He's got every right to.
Unacceptable.
You are absolutely
Especially you, Harvey. Especially you, bro.
Okay.
All right.
That is.
What's your name?
My name is Derek House, man. I've been out here. I lived in Woodridge for 10. I've been in Downers Grove for 3, man. I'm a upstanding citizen. My kids go to school here. I'm well respected. That's wrong.
You're right. You're right.
So I noticed none of them apologized to this guy. None of them. I'm sorry. Guys, I'm telling you right now, as a lawyer who sees this stuff quite a bit, an apology will keep somebody from suing you 95 out of 100 times. Almost no matter what you do. If you take responsibility for your actions and you apologize and you're sincere, most people will not sue. They might complain, but they won't sue. Harvey, who clearly doesn't have the ability to control his own ego enough to let the guy vent when he's just had a gun pointed at his head and had his life threatened by Harvey of all people. And you hear Harvey again, who is clearly ego driven and he's all hopped up and he's like, you have to understand from, no, actually, the citizen does not have to understand from your perspective. Your perspective is clouded by a bunch of stuff that clearly made you do something that was illegal and violate this person's rights. He understood from your perspective while you were pointing a gun at him and ordering him out of the car, and he was compliant. That was his time to understand from your perspective. Now it's time for you to shut your freaking mouth and understand from his perspective. He says, we had a shooting, car's same as yours, not true. Plates are same as yours, only 2 letters off. Not true. Nobody got shot. There was a discharge into the air. We're going to learn that here in a second when we watch the news story. Second of all, the car was not the same. This is not a mistake that should have been made if you had undercovers that nobody saw. If you just saw a guy in the area and it was a patrol officer making a mistake, that's one thing. It's not okay. It's still terrible, but that's one thing. But when you have enough time to trail the car with a person who is being surreptitious in their approach to investigating, they're conducting surveillance on somebody who hasn't done anything wrong, so he's not looking around to see what the cops are doing or who's around him watching him or anything like that. When you have all that time, you can't make mistakes like this. Now, there's been a lawsuit filed. So again, this also comes to us from the Fox 32 News out of Chicago. Let's watch their story on this.
The Suburban Police Department is being sued along with several of its officers after they detained the wrong person during a traffic stop.
This happened a year ago, but the body cam video just dropped today.
In that video, you'll see officers surround that suburban father, draw their guns, and put him in handcuffs. His lawyer tells us he's been grappling with emotional turmoil ever since. Derek House was heading home to his wife and kids after a trip to Costco when he found himself at the center of chaos.
Real slow. Everything real slow. I'm going to shoot you in your head if you come up with anything other than that.
I don't have any weapons. I just came from Costco, dude.
House, who lives in Downers Grove, is a longtime resident of the western suburbs.
This is the wrong car. Yeah, this is the wrong car.
We're all good.
This is the wrong car.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
CN.
But the plate don't match. The last 4 or 5 are wrong. It's the wrong plate.
Officers were looking for a black Tiguan, not a gray Atlas like House's, with 2 occupants, not 1.
Hey, listen, look at me. I this up.
Plus, the plates simply didn't match.
In the totality of what they knew, they ignored almost all of that information. Saw a black man driving a Volkswagen SUV, and that was apparently enough.
House was released, but his attorney, Patrick Provenzali, says this should never have happened.
You can imagine what Derek was thinking in those moments. If I make the wrong move, what's going to happen to me?
Now, House is suing the Woodridge Police Department and those 5 responding officers, arguing false arrest, excessive force, false imprisonment, and more.
Derek is a great guy, clearly a good father, good husband, and a hardworking member of the community. And he's been profoundly impacted by what's happened.
The Village of Woodridge released a statement reading in part, "On the day in question, our officers were responding to a highly volatile situation involving individuals suspected of possessing firearms, slashing tires, and discharging a weapon. Officers acted based on information available at the time, which led to the stop of a vehicle that, unfortunately, was not the one they were specifically seeking." The village adds they deeply regret the distress this caused. We asked the department, though, if any of those officers have been reprimanded or disciplined for their actions, but did not receive a response to that question.
Okay, so that's the news story. But again, let's go back to the statement they just made and match that with what he was told on the scene. So what did they say? Let's pull it up here. It says, "On the day in question, our officers were responding to a highly volatile situation involving individuals suspected of possessing firearms, slashing tires, woo, vandalism, and discharging a weapon. Not shooting anybody, discharging a weapon." It was a shooting, but it wasn't a shooting of a person. There's no victim. In closing, I guess the thing that really bothers me about this is that they knew from Jump Street that these guys were wrong. They knew a year ago. The guy said it on camera. I'm sure they went and did a police report, and I'm sure they documented all this stuff. I'm sure that their leadership was notified that they pulled over and pointed guns and briefly detained the wrong person not involved in this, and he said, "I effed this up on the camera," so they knew. And yet, it took a lawsuit for the body cam to get dropped. It took a lawsuit for the transparency to kick in, and then it took a news story before they decided to make a statement. It's not until you start pushing back against their stuff that you start to run into problems. If you're a citizen, and you go along and you comply and you do all the things, as long as you're okay with accepting whatever treatment they want to dole out in the moment, and you're accepting of them continuing to hold on to your arm as you're trying to walk away pissed off because you just had a gun pointed in your face, you're probably not going to get any bad treatment outside of what already happened to you. Like, you're not going to get retaliated against. It's not going to escalate anymore. The bullies that are down here patrolling the streets that retaliate against people who push back against them, well, they get promoted up into leadership, and then they become the bullies who are policing the officers who are policing the people on the streets. And so it's a top-down problem. You've got bullies who grew up to be big bullies who are training all these other people, and that's the issue. Because the people at the top of these organizations, they were not conducting themselves as police officers in the era where everybody was on camera. They hate transparency, they hate being questioned, they hate being on video, and they will do anything they can to try to cover it up and protect their power. That's all they care about. And so for that reason, it's going to take a wave of new blood, new officers who have a different mindset, who eventually work their way up into leadership before anything about this is going to change. For now, I see this guy's going to probably get $1 million lawsuit settled, and I think that's exactly the way it should be. I don't know what's going to happen with qualified immunity. I actually wouldn't be surprised if it went either way, because it was so out of sorts from what they were actually looking for, and there was such a mismatch that it's possible an appellate court could say, yeah, I don't see how you guys got to this conclusion. I don't think it's reasonable to think this guy was involved at all, so we're going to strip qualified immunity. So it's possible that that'll happen, especially in Illinois, which generally has a more progressive view of criminal justice. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's all for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. I am going to start posting content on my second channel starting February 1st. So I appreciate any of you who have gone over and subscribed. I think we're almost at 500 subscribers now. So if you haven't done so, please head over to the Southern Draw Law Court Cam channel. I will put the link in the description of this video, and you'll be able to subscribe. And so that way we'll be ready to roll once I start posting content. You'll get notified and all that stuff. If you'd like to support the Southern Draw Law channel monetarily, I don't offer any type of memberships, but I will leave my Venmo and PayPal link both here on the screen as well as in the description. Please remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment on the video. Check out some of the other videos on the channel and leave a comment on there as well. Until I see you again, take care. Always film your interactions with the police and keep your evidence to yourself.